I don't think people without kids realize how much free time they actually have.
This woman is out here saying that people without kids don't know how much free time they have. Like, girl, says who? If you choose to get entangled up with kids or you get married and then, kids come, it's only natural that you do what you're supposed to do as a parent by taking care of them. And then the people who are child free, them choosing to be child free, they know that having a kid comes with a lot. And that is why they are staying away from that department, if you ask me. Anyway, you guys, let's go sample some videos, see what people thought about all of these, and I'll be back.
I don't think people without kids realize how much free time they actually have. Like, they are practically on vacation 24/7. And you don't realize that until you have kids and you have no free time ever. Now, don't get me wrong, I love spending time with my kids, but I don't get a lot of free time, which I completely understand. I signed up for. But it's just funny because, like, I have friends that don't have kids, and I just get a kick out of hearing them say, like, oh, I'm so tired or I'm so busy. And I really try not to be that friend that's like, oh, well, girl, imagine if this, imagine it. Like, I despise people like that because at the end of the day, everyone has problems, everyone has issues, everyone has a to-do list, and they can get overwhelmed and be tired. But I'm just saying, if you're watching this and you don't have kids, embrace the free time, because once you do have kids, there will be little to no free time. And the time that you get with them is amazing. It's I prayed for this. I asked God for this, so I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying a person without kids free time is completely different than a person who has kids free time. So take advantage now while you can.
I want to talk about demographics that don't know something. Let's talk about parents. I don't think parents know just how insufferable they are. I don't think parents, specifically mothers, know that they are the biggest deterrents for people who are child free from making the decision to have children. I don't need to have children. You guys have shown me more than enough that you're miserable with that life.
Now, don't get me wrong, I love spending time with my kids, but
If you are so happy, if you are so happy being a mom, if you are so happy being a parent, why are you constantly on the internet talking about how child-free people this, child-free people that? You don't get free time. I'm always tired. You can't compare your tired to mine. My tired is just so unique. It's a tired that has never existed in the world before having children. Oh my God. You sound like you really love being a mom. To act like people who are child-free don't have responsibilities like work, or working more than one job, or going to school while working, or going to school while working more than one job, or having animals that they have to raise, or a home they have to take care of, or maybe a parent they have to take care of. To act like being a parent gives you a unique experience on being tired. Again, that's that insufferability I was talking about.
it's just funny because, like, I have friends that don't have kids, and I just get a kick out of hearing them say, like, oh, I'm so tired or I'm so busy. And I really try not to be that friend that's like, oh, well, girl, imagine if this, imagine it. Like, I despise people like that.
I don't want to be that friend to them. So I'm actually just going to come to the internet instead and say it to everybody here instead of saying it to their faces. Yeah, because motherhood is awesome and I have so much fun doing it. You made a lifestyle, lifelong commitment and choice to have children, and it changes it. It changes your lifestyle. That's why many people who don't have children and have actively chosen to be child-free are child-free. Many of us don't want to give up whatever free time we do have to waste in our minds or spend or invest in your minds on a child.
But I'm just saying, a person without kids free time is completely different than a person who has kids free time. So take advantage now while you can.
There's like a flip that switches in the brains of many parents, and it's like a cognitive dissonance insufferability switch. They don't really realize how obnoxious and you sound miserable. You do a great job selling me and not wanting to have children. Other child-free people, their content, child-free content, has never once persuaded me not to have children. But the content and the things I hear from the mouths of parents, they do. Because the last thing I want to do is just naturally become insufferable just because I became a parent. That seems to be like the standard deviation. That seems to be the route that people go down. It's like you can't be a parent without being annoying. You have to sit and complain. You have to sit and complain about how child-free people have it so easy, as if you didn't make the choice to have children. That was your decision. That was your decision. Maybe something you should have looked into before you had them.
I don't think people without kids realize how much free time they actually have. Like, they are practically on vacation 24/7. And you don't realize that until you have kids and you have no free time ever.
You can just say you resent becoming a mom. Yeah, your free time transitioned into family time, and I don't know why that seems to be a burden to you. Additionally, I had no idea I was in vacation mode because I had no kids. I guess this PhD program I'm doing in special education is vacation mode. I guess teaching graduate and undergraduate courses in special education and early childhood education was vacation mode. It's really interesting too because some people are not child free by choice. Some people are just not able to have kids. So it's crazy that you would project that type of insecurity onto people who would probably give the world to be in your shoes. Yeah, honestly, be so for real.
Everyone's dragging that woman that said people without kids are on vacation, but I honestly feel bad for her because if you can't imagine a life without having kids and can't imagine a life that's like completely busy, and like not whatsoever a vacation, just because of kids, that to me says you lack imagination, you lack initiative, you lack determination, you lack drive, you lack a lot of things. I'm single and childless. I am one of the busiest people that I fucking know, and I don't care if you have kids and you think that you're not. My life is so fucking full, like genuinely. And the fact that you can't even fathom a life that doesn't revolve around kids that could be busier than yours, that's just sad to me. That's just sad.
And this is why I personally waited until I was almost 37 years old to have a kid. One of the gripes that I have always had with parents is this delusion that they live in, that they're so put upon and no one knows how they suffer, no one knows how they struggle. I saw the way my mom struggled raising 2 kids alone. That's why I didn't want to infringe on my free time by having kids as early as she did. Baby, I'm a Taurus who loves to eat and loves to sleep. I need time to do those things. My husband does bedtime with my son 3 nights a week so that I can get a full nights of uninterrupted rest. When we go out together, people think that I'm on a date with a single father because while he's trying to feed himself and our toddler, I'm just stuffing my face. However, part of the reason why I have so much free time is because I'm very, very efficient at time management, and I've alternated between being self-employed and being an independent contractor for the last decade. What I think a lot of parents fail to realize is that a lot of employers exploit the fact that certain employees are child-free or childless in order to put more unpaid and unthanked labor on their plate. Leave a comment if you've ever been shamed by a parent for the fact that you have time to rest and relax. Leave a comment if you've ever been browbeaten or emotionally blackmailed by an employer into picking up a shift from a parent who was supposed to come into work but had to bail out last minute in order to deal with something involving their child. Leave a comment if you've ever consistently worked harder, worked longer hours than someone with children only to be later passed over for promotion because that person had children and needed the money more. Leave a comment if a parent, extended family member, employer, or even friend implied or flat out said that you were irresponsible or selfish because you didn't have kids. Absolutely no child-free person should be made to feel selfish for all of the free time that they have. This is a side effect of the choices that they made. If you are a woman struggling with children and you feel like there's simply not enough hours in the day to do all the things that you need to do, then at least one of these 3 things needs to happen. Number 1, you need to actually take your grievances where they belong, to your children's father, and have him step up so that you can actually rest. Number 2, you need better time management skills. Or number 3, you need better pussy management skills. Stop breeding with deadbeats who make you feel like a single mother, even if you're in a marriage. Stop trying to shame child-free women for being happy simply because motherhood brought you nothing but misery.
Have you all heard about this viral mom video in which this mom is saying that child-free people are on a 24/7 vacation? I actually want to talk for a second about the fact But there are a lot of child-free people who take on roles that require them to be on call all the time for people who aren't just their own DNA. I have a friend who runs a homeless facility. She's responding to emergencies all of the time. She has dedicated her life to bettering the life of people who are not related to her. I'd love to know if the mom that made that video is doing that, or if she's only extending her care and resources to her own DNA, her own little progenies, her own little future caretakers, her own little narcissism mini-me's. I get so tired sometimes of parents wanting all this praise for something that is ultimately an ego project. That's what a kid is. I'm not impressed by that. It's fine if it makes you happy, but I'm not going to give you an award for it. Tell me that you have dedicated your days to the betterment of someone who does not share DNA with you, then I'm impressed.
You know what I don't do as a child-free person with my spare time? I don't sit there thinking about what people with children are doing with their free time. In fact, it's none of my business what people do with their free time, whether they have children or not. As someone who's made very intentional choices in my life, I do think about myself and the people around me, as well as my family, my loved ones, my community, my work, my dog. I don't go around judging others for how they spend their time, but I'm secure about the choices I've made in my life. She goes on to say that the free time that she has as a parent isn't the same as she had when she was child-free, and that if you don't have children, you better take advantage of that free time now because it's going to change when you have children. Yeah, we know. That's why we're not having kids. I often think about how I am the answered prayer of some of my ancestors who wished to live a life not chained down to children because they didn't have an option. A lot of the people in my lineage had children very young and had many, many, many children. Their lives were limited. And my life, well, I'm the first of my bloodline to have agency, and that should be celebrated, not judged. So even if my free time does sometimes feel like a vacation, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of great when you can stand behind your choices.
So the reason why it's insensitive to say that people without kids are on vacation 24/7 is because it implies that their life is easy and that they don't have real responsibility. Saying that someone is on vacation 24/7 dismisses their financial pressure that they may have, health issues, the pressures of their job, social challenges. Some of these people are actually caregivers of their loved ones. So when you imply that not having kids means that they're on vacation 24/7, it dismisses everything else that could be going on in their life. And I know this creator did not mean that intentionally, but I think that's how it came off. And another thing is that some of these people could be trying and want to have kids, but they just can't. So it kind of stings a little bit when there's some sort of implication that maybe it's intentional and they're on vacation because of that. It can also make people feel ashamed of their life choices and feel guilty for the life that they have, whereas you, on the other hand, also had the same ability to make those choices as well, and you didn't. But when you come on and imply such a thing, people then start to feel guilty and ashamed, and that should never be the case. It also implies that parents are working really hard while non-parents are just sitting and relaxing all day, and maybe it can be the case sometimes, but again, these are the life choices that as parents we make, right? And again, it's amazing to have kids, and kids to me have been the best decision in the world, but it comes with challenges. What I would have said instead is that, I envy some of the flexibility that people without kids have. And, I wish sometimes I had that flexibility, but I would not frame it in a way that almost makes it seem like they're not doing anything. And again, flexibility is relative. Maybe some of those people don't have the flexibility and they don't have the choice. So, or I would frame it a little different that, if I didn't have, I would want to, I'm so busy. Like I'll say, I'm so busy that I need some time to recharge. And I wish I was in the position where I could do that. Something like that. But I don't know. I know this creator did not mean this in a negative way, because I think she actually framed it to me. I understood what she was saying, but I could see how other people will take it as negative. But I don't think that was her intent at all. I think it just needed to be framed a little differently.
If you are child-free, your whole life is a vacation. That is what this creator said earlier this week in a video. She said, you know, all my friends who are child free, they're basically on vacation 24/7. And even though they might have responsibilities, like it's nothing compared to mine. And like they don't realize just like how easy and how much free time they have. And as a child free person, I can assure you, Danielle, I do not feel like I am basically on vacation 24/7, but I do want to talk about this. The other thing that Danielle does in her video is she basically says like, and if you don't have kids, just you wait. Enjoy this time. And I want to tell you why that comment especially really kind of made me as a child-free person go like, ooh, no, 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 no. What struck me about that is the fact that like you don't seem to take into consideration the fact that there are so many people who want to have kids, but for whatever reason, there could be a multitude of reasons, they can't or they haven't. And the reasons behind that can often be really painful. And so your video seemed to sort of lack that awareness. The other thing that I would say is like, you know, there are plenty of people who don't have kids and are child free by choice, and that's what they like and that's what they love. And I also, you know, think that that's something to deeply respect. And I also get it. Like, I feel like this is a little bit of a hot internet take. You wanted traction, you wanted action, you got it, you said something really controversial. I also think there's a way to express the sentiment that you have without, like, I don't know, making me not feel great about myself, because that's kind of how I felt. You could have done this video as like, you know, I didn't realize how much free time I had before I had kids. And I'll just share with you, Danielle, one of the reasons, it's not the only reason, it's not the only thing, but one of the reasons that I don't have kids is because my mom died when I was a kid. So I have a lot of fear and anxiety about having children of my own and then dying like my mom did, and then having them be in the situation that I was put in, and it was just so deeply painful. I just can't. So when you make a video and you say like, you know, just you wait, or, you know, your whole life is a vacation, it actually brings up a lot of those feelings for me that are actually like pretty painful and sad. And I know someone could say like, no, have kids, do the thing that maybe somebody's like, I did it and it's fine. I love that for you. This is just me. This is the journey I'm on. Also, Danielle, I think you got a lot of rage bait going on here. And that's okay. I get it. I rage baited at the beginning. But like long term, is this like who you want to be? I don't know.
Let's talk about it. What free time? Where are you getting this free time? Girl, since we don't have kids, we're working 2 to 3 full-time jobs just so we can keep up with the society and this damn economy. I know I have several streams of income. My husband has 2 full-time tech jobs. What free time? And in one of my jobs, I'm literally a child welfare educator and advocate. I spend majority of my day helping parents keep their kids. You know, I really can't stand parents who hate being parents. Like, I and my husband don't want to be parents. We love children, but we've made the conscious decision not to have children, not because we don't want them. It's because the world doesn't need any more fucking children, especially from me. Already a huge gap with the economy. There's schools too expensive, all of these things, right? And it's just a shitty world. I'm not going to bring a child into a shitty world, especially in my scenario where that child would only have 2 gay parents and no grandparents, nobody else. Like, no, that's unfair. Whatever the reasons that you're deciding to stay child free, why do these people think that we just live in a lapse of luxury and our life is a daily vacation? Girl, just because you can't afford a nanny doesn't mean that you don't you are just so much busier than us. I have to cook and clean just like you do. And I'm not saying that being childless isn't an easier life. I'm just saying, why is there a comparison? Why are you comparing us? I don't have children for a reason. You have kids. So you can be like, oh my God, I hate when people without kids say they're so tired. We are tired. We're tired of your bullshit. But no, on the serious note, I get up at 5 a.m. I go to bed at 9 p.m. I spend my whole day working and hustling and cooking and cleaning. Like, leave us alone. I think that's the thing. Leave us alone. I think that's the message. Leave childless people alone. Have a good one.
Why do women who have kids always want to get on this app complaining and talking about people who, like, women who don't have kids? Like, I just seen some video, I'm sure it's going viral right now, of some woman saying that child-free people are constantly on vacation, in that she doesn't like to hear her child-free friends talking about how tired they are and how busy they are if they don't have kids. Girl, what are you talking about? No one forced you to have kids. Like, y'all are miserable. Y'all are miserable. Why do you care that some of us don't want kids? And you want to get on this app complaining about, oh, well, if you're child free, you can't be tired. Like, are you crazy? Are we living in the same country? People have to work like 40 plus hours a week to make ends meet. People can't afford groceries right now. And you're saying, oh, if you don't have kids, you don't deserve to be tired? What are you talking about? No one you could have driven yourself to the clinic if you didn't want kids, bro. And then you're like, oh, well, you know, I love having kids, I love being a parent, but it's like, I just don't understand my friends that don't have kids saying they're tired and saying they're busy. Like, and I want to be like, can you imagine, like, if you had kids on top of that? Like, yeah, we can imagine if we had kids on top of feeling as tired and drained as we already do. That's why we don't fucking have them. The fuck?
You know that lady that's going viral for stating that people that don't have kids don't realize just how much free time they actually have? And of course, all the people with no kids are actually saying, yes, we actually do. And as a person with no kids, myself, I'm gonna just say this. I made it my business to make sure I live a life that I don't need a vacation from. So it was so interesting when I heard her state that they're basically on vacation all the time, because yes, indeed. And also, my life, I feel like my entire life is a vacation because I technically built it that way. But there was a time where, damn, I couldn't imagine having kids on top of having to go to school and have to go to work and pay all these bills and find self-care. Like, for me personally, that's just not feasible. To the people that have managed to have kids throughout all that are really God's strongest soldiers, because for me, myself, I'm almost pretty sure I would have taken the elevator to the top floor. For sure. Gone swimming, no fishing, never coming back. You understand what I'm saying? And I have to be very transparent. And while we're on that topic, there's actually another girl that's going viral for a list of reasons why she knew she wouldn't have kids. Did you see the part or the one video where she talks about kid horror, pregnancy horror? I have never in my life heard someone actually mention that feeling, because I thought it was just me. And thank God for this app, because every day I come on here and hear a circumstance of which I thought I was the only one, and realizing I'm not alone, because something growing on the inside of me literally sends me into like this existential type of crisis. Like the thought of something growing on the inside of me gives parasite. You guys got to watch that video, because those that get it. And I'm gonna take it a step further. That's the reason why I don't want any eggplant dropping off their juice inside my womb, because that in itself, the eggplant juice don't even gotta reach no egg. The fact that it's even dropped off in there is giving parasite. Okay? Now we have a bunch of unborn parasites swimming around. I can't do these things. I'm telling you, like, no, I can't.
Y'all didn't want kids from the beginning. That's what that video literally gave me. Cause you up there talking about people with no kids literally have a full 24/7 vacation time. And then you go on to say that God gave you those blessings. Girl, you fucked and you got pregnant. That's exactly what comes with having kids. You literally do one thing that can literally change your whole entire life. This lady literally said that she always go out with her friends, and her friends with no kids always be like, oh yeah, I'm so tired. But the part that get me is when she said she be want to tell her friends so bad, you don't have a reason to be tired, baby. When it's just like, my thing is, y'all act like we told y'all to go out and have kids. And that's the part that pissed me off when it comes to parents. A lot of parents literally act like somebody made them go out and have a child. You did what you did, and that's how you got a baby. If you didn't want the baby, you should have never had it from the beginning. That shit just gives y'all as miserable as hell. And y'all didn't want them kids to begin with. So now you try to blame people that don't have kids, and you try to say that we live a better life, when the only difference is we have more free time. Y'all choose the wrong people to have kids with, and then you get upset with the rest of the world because you don't have any free time. But see, that's another conversation that y'all still ain't ready for.
As a parent, I will never understand why other parents will call out child-free adults unprovoked. Roll the clip.
I don't think people without kids realize how much free time they actually have.
Yes, they do, and that's by choice.
They are practically on vacation 24/7.
The average adult, child-free or not, is not on vacation 24/7. Who is funding that lifestyle? We all have bills.
Now, don't get me wrong, I love spending time with my kids.
You're actually showing us the opposite, but carry on.
But I don't get a lot of free time.
You choosing to have children and not having any free time was entirely up to you. It has nothing to do with child-free adults. You sound like you regret your decision.
Which I completely understand. I signed up for. But it's just funny because, like, I have friends that don't have kids, and I just get a kick out of hearing them say, like, oh, I'm so tired, or I'm so busy. And I really try not to be that friend that's like, oh, well, girl, imagine if this, imagine it. Like, I despise people like that.
But you are being that person on the internet right now. You don't find it amusing when child-free people say that they're tired or stressed. You're resentful, and you came to the internet to tell us all of that. You're mad at people who made the choice to be child-free, and you're mad that you're not child-free because you don't have all the free time that you think child-free people have.
At the end of the day, everyone has problems, everyone has issues, everyone has a to-do list, and they can get overwhelmed and be tired. But I'm just saying, if you're watching this and you don't have kids, embrace the free time. Because once you do have kids, there will be little to no free time.
Single mom here, I genuinely treasure all the time I get to spend with my son and all the time I get to spend alone, because neither thing is a permanent fixture in my life. My son will grow up and be an adult and get his own things, and then I'll be left alone, missing the time that we had together. Every moment you have with your kids is a blessing. Every moment you have by yourself is a blessing. Every moment you spend with loved ones is a blessing. You said you prayed for this, but you were sounding mighty ungrateful.
I don't think this should even be a conversation or a debate, but the way she came to say it as if, oh, y'all have so much free time on your hands. Girl, lady, woman, yes, they should have free time, because being a parent is a hard work. It's like you're making a sacrifice like you're choosing to intentionally sacrifice your time, your happiness, and be there for another human. And I won't blame parents who decided after one or two kids or three kids they want to stop there. I mean, three is even too much. Some people stop at just number one. So next time when you're gonna have conversations, I think you should look deep into the kind of conversations you're coming on social media. Because I mean, if you're a child-free individual, you don't have any child, then you know that of course you should have free time to travel, do whatever it is you want to do, because being a parent is about sacrifice. It's more of the sacrificial part, especially when the kids are younger, because they never asked to be brought into this world. So long you are available, you are alive, and you can cater for them, then you should do everything possible to care for those children. Anyway, you guys, what do you think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye for now.